the bigger items.
Now we're on to the Lynn Woods conservation restriction.
Before we get started, there are a number of folks here today, so if you feel as though you want to testify, please do so. If you don't feel like testifying, at the end, I will ask for a show of hands for those who wish to be in support and/or opposition. And we just ask for those testifying to know that there may be a number of people behind you. So if you could put some self-imposed limits, I think your fellow supporters may appreciate that. So I will begin by opening the public hearing for those wishing to speak in favor. That was almost a big letdown.
Councilors, my name is Jim Camo. I work for the Department of Conservation and Recreation.
Do you have a presentation?
I do, a brief one. Joining me this evening is Vanessa Johnson Hall with Essex County Greenville. As they're getting the presentation assembled, I'll begin by saying a little less than 2 years ago, I was given a phone call from someone in Lynn who said, I think Lynn is ready to revisit the conservation restriction of Lynn Woods. This was a program that we had begun, I'm going to say, 12, 14 years ago. DCR has long been an enthusiast of protecting Lynn Woods explicitly as a whole in perpetuity. And we signed right up. We got started right away. So I will say Lynn Woods represents one of the most important open space areas in the Commonwealth. It is, we think, the third largest within the 128. It is remarkable, and 2,200 acres protected as a whole, intact with no paper running through it. So you can go ahead and listen ahead. So I'm deviating from what one might normally expect from a PowerPoint. I'm sharing with you the names of some of the principals back in the 1880s that assembled what we now call Lynn Woods Reservation. These are civic leaders, people who took money out of their own pocket to buy land from other people and then donated it to the city of Lynn. Some of these people were original park commission members, leaders in the conservation movement in Massachusetts, remarkable individuals who helped Lynn become what it is and helped create 2,200 acres of Lynn Woods Reservation. Recently, as we've looked at Lynn Woods, we've waded through almost 300 different deeds trying to identify how each of the parcels came into Lynn to be part of Lynn Woods Reservation. It's a time-consuming and lengthy process. It's like putting a big puzzle together. In the last several months, Vanessa and I have met with various groups in Lynn, with the Lynn Water and Sewer Commission, received unanimous support, with the Lynn Park Commission, received near unanimous support, one abstention, unanimous support from the Lynn Conservation Commission. And the mayor was one of the early supporters of this. She has kind of rallied the cause. And so here we are tonight, looking for the Lynn City Council to vote to support going to the legislature to receive authorization to put a conservation restriction on Lynn Woods to be held by Essex County Greenbelt in the Commonwealth of Mass, the Department of Conservation and Recreation. So I put all those original names up. Now we'll hit click again, Vanessa. I thought it would be interesting to add all of your names to these people that 130 years ago. I met with many of you in small groups and answered questions and introduced the idea. I received heartwarming and solid support. So now it's, I think, a time collectively for us to look forward to taking steps in completing a conservation on Lynn Reservation. Oh, forgive me, I'm sorry. I put this together just 2 hours ago. So what we're looking here is a reaffirmation of the original vision of Charles Elliott, who created the trustees of reservations. The Metropolitan District Commission was a principal here at Linwood. So Mr. Baxter and Mr. Chase, who help with Linwoods and also help with the Parks Movement and the whole Commonwealth. And we want to reaffirm that outdoor recreation is compatible with water supply protection. These are two very important purposes, both of which are served in Linwoods, in that Linwoods possesses resources that are of statewide importance in this generation's privilege to pass down to future citizens. So that's my presentation. I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Do we still need a screen? Okay.
May I speak?
So just curious, so other folks going to be using the screen as well for their testimony, or is it ability for us to, is that okay? I'd just like to see. I'm pretty tall.
Stand on your chair, Danny.
Oh.
Mr. President?
Show tunes.
Can I make a suggestion? I think if we could go first, if the lady would yield before.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I'm Vanessa Johnson Hall. I'm the Assistant Director of Land Conservation at Greenbelt, and clearly I should have worn higher heels. I'm just going to very briefly, in like 2 or 3 slides, take it down to the basics and describe what a conservation restriction is, because it's not a term that most people would encounter. It's a legal agreement between a landowner and a nonprofit land trust and or a state agency. In this case, the conservation restriction would be held by Greenbelt and the Department of Conservation and Recreation jointly. It permanently restricts the amount and type of development that can occur on that land. Its purpose is to protect the conservation values of that property forever, whether it's public recreation, forest management, water supply protection and management, wildlife habitat, trails, the golf course, etc. All of the reasons why you all love and use Linwoods. The important distinction with a conservation restriction is that the landowner continues to own and manage the land. So in this case, the conservation restriction, in all cases, the conservation restriction in no way changes who the landowner of Linwoods is. It will still be Lynn Water and Sewer Commission and the City of Lynn. And the conservation restriction in no way changes the authority of the Water and Sewer Commission or the City of Lynn to manage the woods for water supply protection and for public recreation. Go ahead, Jim. So just sort of a pictorial representation of that. When you own a piece of land, you can do all these things with it. You own all these rights. You can play on it. You can dam up streams and create water supply reservoirs. You can mine that land for oil and gas. You can do timber harvesting on that land. And of course, you can build on that land, subdivide and develop that land. With a conservation restriction, all it does is it extinguishes those uses that will harm the conservation values of the property. So those rights are actually extinguished through the conservation restriction. No one will own them anymore, they're gone. And all that remains is all those reasons that all of you use Linwoods now. Go ahead, Jim. So remember, even with the conservation restriction in place, it in no way changes how the city and the Lynn Water and Sewer Commission manage this land. And just real quickly, many communities across the Commonwealth have already preserved thousands of acres of their water supply lands, public water supply lands, with conservation restrictions. So this is not, doing anything that hasn't been done many times across the Commonwealth before. And just a couple more slides to sum up why Greenbelt is involved. This is what the Linwoods conservation restriction will preserve. Sorry. This is what the Linwoods conservation restriction will preserve. The green spaces, the blue spaces, all the beautiful things that you appreciate about Linwoods. Go ahead, Jim. And this is who we're preserving Linwoods for, and this is why Greenbelt is involved. I'm happy to answer questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Babbitt, if you could state your name and your address for the record.
Steve Babbitt, 31 Manson Street. I've been on the Park Commission for 23 years. I was one of the founding members of the Friends of Linwoods in October of 1989. In all my readings of the history and all the things that have come across, there's been many opportunities for intrusion, the highway, many other things. And there was even an attempt at the last mayoral race to try to develop some of the land. So I totally support this conservation restriction. I think it'd be a great thing to do for the city and Linwoods.
Very patient, thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alicia Ravi-Sapolo. I live at 11 Perkins Street on Pineville. I just wanted to say that Linwoods has a lot of meaning to a lot of us, and I just don't want that to be forgotten. And now I'm nervous, so bye.
Don't be nervous. Only 90,000 people watching you.
That's all.
Well, thank you very much. If you get a second thought, you can come back. Jane Kelly, please state your name and your address for the record.
My name is Jane Kelly. I live at 77 Lake Ave in Lynn. I'm the president of the Friends of Lynn Woods. I'll keep it short. The Friends of Lynn Woods are 100% behind this proposition. Thank you.
Joe Scanlon, please state your name and your address for the record.
My name is Joseph E. Scammell III. I live at 236 Parkland Avenue, former councilor of Ward 1, former councilor at large, president of the Lynn Museum and Historical Society,
Former candidate for mayor.
former candidate for mayor, lifelong resident of Lynn. What else can I say? This is something that was really envisioned when I was on the council 25 years ago, when we talked about the Linwoods master plan, and I'm here to speak in favor of it and throw my wholehearted support behind it, because I'm tired of listening to Steve Babbitt complain about no restriction. Thank you so much.
Joe, it's a pleasure to take care of all your loose ends. Don't worry. I got it.
I hope my loose ends aren't showing, but I just want to say that the Commission has a unique opportunity to provide perpetual protection to two of the greatest resources in the city of Lynn, and that is the woods themselves and the Lynn water supply. So I would ask you to vote in favor of the restriction. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Good evening. I'm David Bjorkman from 27 Homestead Road in Linfield, and I would like to tell you that the decisions that you make here tonight will have far-reaching effects that go far beyond the borders of Lynn and reach well into the communities around you. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Ashley Seeger. I live at 86 Menlo Ave, and I am very fortunate to have lived so close to Linwoods. We moved there just less than a year ago. And I just want to say how important Linwoods has become to me and my family living in that home, and also to all the family members who travel. Every weekend we bring them out into Linwoods. We're there on Christmas Eve sharing all the adventures that we have already had in Linwoods and that we will continue to have. And I just want to reiterate the fact that we have met people walking through the woods who have traveled from out of state just to come here to visit Linwoods, and definitely would encourage you to support this. Thank you.
Anyone else wants to speak in favor?
Calvin Anderson, 12 Concord Street. I'm a citizen, I'm a user of Linwoods, I'm a conservationist. It's kind of fitting that they're rerunning Ken Burns' special on PBS about the national parks, because this is a good idea too. I'm also a member of the Lynn Historical Commission, and this will hopefully prevent us from ever having to keep a cell tower out of
Fair. Thank you, Calvin.
My name is Dick Lynch. I live in Saugus, and I'm one of the members of the Board of Directors of the Saugus River Watershed Council. And I would just like to say that we are behind this 100%.
Thank you, sir. Speak in favor.
Leslie Quartermatch, 97 Fellsmere Street, and I would urge the council members to vote this conservation restriction and also welcome Essex Greenbelt into southern Essex County now. I think it's a great thing to do, and adding another layer of protection is certainly worthwhile and a great thing to do. So I'm in favor of it. Thank you.
Hi, Mary Fountain, 11 Thistle Street. I'm here tonight to ask for your endorsement to move forward with the conservation restriction for Lynn Woods. This is something that I've played a small part in the past few years. I've met with many of you on it. I'd like to thank DCR and Greenbelt for all of their work and all the commissions who have voted for this so far. Thank you.
Thank you.
Street. I'm here with my husband, who I asked no son, I'm speaking on his behalf as well. We both support the Conservation Commission and thank all of you for that work in that regard.
Dave Pruitt, 70 Dartmouth College Highway, Haverhill, New Hampshire. It took me 3 hours to get here for this. Lifetime member of the Friends of Lynn Woods, grew up on Holly Avenue, a short walking distance from the park. I'd like to speak for all of us who enjoy the park and love it, and have since moved out of Lynn to different places in New England, but remember it fondly. I still get down regularly to work on a project with my friend Rob Ryan, who's on Woodlawn Avenue, and I urge you strongly to protect the woods and pass this restriction. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak in favor? Hope we get 2. You can form a line if you'd like.
Hi, I'm Linda Blandino, and I live at 151 Leckfield Street. And I get to enjoy Lynn Woods every single day. And I really wasn't planning on speaking tonight, but, you know, earlier tonight we heard about your concern about, developing the Lynn Way to what's best for the city. And I think that we need to consider that Lynn Woods is already here, and it's what's best for the city. It is a place for community. It's a place of beauty, and when people think of Lynn, they can think of Lynn Woods as, a beautiful place for families. It's a place where people can be healthy, they can walk, they can meet people, and it's really a true gem of the city of Lynn, and it would be a wonderful thing to preserve it and keep it that way as you plan all of your other efforts to beautify the city. We can't forget what we already have. Thank you.
Thank you.
David LeBlanc, 10 Hawthorne Street. I think most of us can agree that Lynn Woods is a sanctuary, not just for the nature and wildlife that reside there, but for all of us. Technology advances every single day, and our lives are rushed. And personally, when I go to Lynn Woods, time stands still. It's a beautiful area where I can walk, see deer, beautiful trees, any kinds of animals. And I think it's important to preserve that, not only for us, but for our kids, our grandkids, and their kids too, because I don't want to be talking about Lynn Woods like it was something that was my age. I want it to be every age. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joan Simone. I live at 95 Menlo Ave. And I wasn't going to speak either, but the gentleman that drove 3 hours did, so I felt I had to. I've been a homeowner here in Lynn and lived right by the woods for 10 years. And I didn't really know a lot about it until I moved there. And it is probably the reason that I will always stay here. It's very, very sweet. It's precious. The world's changing, but it does stand still when you're there. And I feel it is a value. No matter what you can build on there and make money from, I think that brings people in. And I think it's really special, and I hope you guys vote this in.
Thank you.
My name is Michael Lebednik. I live at 12 Millard Avenue with my brother. I was mentioning to him that I was here to speak in favor of the conservation restriction. And he's some years older than I am. His response was, I thought that was taken care of 25 years ago. And it reminded me that having been a lifelong resident of the city, my brother was very active. Some of the folks of a certain age here may remember the fight about Interstate 95 from the late 60s and early 70s. My brother was very active in that because what would have happened had that road been built is that Lynn Woods would have been bisected much the same way that the Middlesex Fells is bisected right by Route 93, which wasn't the intent of its folks that set it aside. And as I was growing up as a teenager, I remember going up to some of the roads off to the side of Linfield Street, bordering Lynn Woods, and seeing signs that read, City Water Department, no trespassing. And then as I grew into my 20s and 30s, I noticed that those same areas that used to be marked no trespassing were getting developed. So I think it's important for us to realize that we can never really take these things for granted, especially something that doesn't translate into short-term profitable opportunities. I've heard several people here, and I know of other folks who travel out of their way from communities that perhaps have a better reputation than Lynn has, but they come out of their way to visit Lynn, to go to Lynn Woods. So I think that Lynn Woods has really gained a lot of traction in the larger community, not just in with its residents, but it's really important, I hope, that the councilmen take this opportunity to put a firm stamp of approval on the conservation restrictions. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Tina Walters, and I live at 67 Menlo Ave, and I grew up on the other side of Lynn Woods, and I've been in my house now for 22 years. I just want to say that the thrill on my granddaughter's face when I take her up the woods and she sees those horses running through there, it's amazing. And we don't want to lose that perspective on anything in Lynn. I'm proud to be from Lynn, and I always say to everybody, oh, they say, where are you from? I'm like, Lynn. Where? Lynn Woods Reservation. Oh yeah, I know that place. Everybody knows that place. So I'd love to keep it the way it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who are you voting for president? Ted Cruz just dropped out, by the way.
Justin Sorois, 79 Carter Road.
See what Bernie Sanders is doing. Be serious. You've been Colucci.
So I just wanted to say that I have a lot of fond childhood memories going through Lynn Woods with my grandfather, and I would like to have the same opportunity with my children to show them Lynn Woods and to make memories that they'll remember for the rest of their life. And if we do this, there won't be an option for that not to happen. And on the grander scale, climate change. We cannot afford as a species to continue to have even the option to get rid of our forests. It's not, we can't accept that anymore. We've gone too far and we need to stop now. Thank you very much.
How's it going? Nathan Carry on 248 Chatham Street, and I just wanted to say that I've had many great memories of Lynn Woods, but the best memories I've had is when I bring my son there, and he plays and he laughs, and amongst the chaos that is Lynn, it is our sanctuary, and I hope that the memories that I share with my son are the memories that he'll share with his son. And the weight of our decisions, they last a lifetime. They last beyond our lifetime, and I hope that we make the right one today. Thank you.
At this point, if anyone would not want, oh, okay. We'll do show of hands in a little bit.
My name is Mark McInerney. I'm 81 Pennybrook Road. I'm a lifelong resident of Lynn Woods, or of Lynn. I'm also a founding member of the Friends of Lynn Woods. And I've been fighting these battles going on since I was a teenager in the 70s. So this is something I feel really strongly about. Before I came here today, I took this bottle and filled it up off my tap.
Okay.
For my job, I travel all around the country, and I drink a lot of bad hotel water and restaurant water. Lynn's water is unbelievable, and I drink out of it all the time. My name is Nick Zano. I live at 2 Fuller Street Court in Ward 7, Fighting 7. And my wife, Melissa, and I moved here. We'll celebrate 10 years in Lynn in August. And Lynn Woods is part of the reason why this place is attractive to us. I'd also like to say on behalf of my dog, Lucy, please preserve Lynn Woods. We have a very small yard.
If you don't want to testify in favor, we would take a show of hands. Anyone in favor who doesn't wish to testify in support of tonight's conservation restriction? We'll put it all hard. At least 100. We'll put at least 100 people in support. Favor. I'm going to open the public hearing for those in opposition, mindful that we are respectful of everyone's views. Anyone in opposition? Seeing no one in opposition, I close the public hearing for those wishing to speak in opposition. I close the public hearing. What's the wish of the council?
President.
Councilor Lozey.
Before I make a motion, I'd like to point out that I was a 12-year member of the Lynn Water and Sewer. I was the chairman, and approximately 6 months ago, we approved this conservation restriction at the Lynn Water and Sewer to get it to this process. I do want to point out tonight, we heard very touching testimony from just a very small percentage of Lynn, and I believe each one of us here that has lived in Lynn, it was excellent testimony, and I'm sure we would hear a lot more if we could hear from others. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second. A motion has been made. I'm going to read the order. I want to get it right.
Order to grant a conservation restriction to the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation and Essex County Greenbelt Association, Inc. on terms mutually acceptable to the city and to the grantees on all or a portion of those parcels of land in Lynn, Lynnfield, and Saugus, which are owned by the city of Lynn and comprise of the Lynn Woods Reservation. further ordered to seek approval of the foregoing grant from the General Court pursuant to Article 97 of the amendments to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and further ordered to record in the Essex South District Registry of Deeds the plan entitled Plan of Land, Lynn Woods Reservation, in Lynn, Saugus, and Lynnfield, Mass., Essex County, by the BSC Group, dated June 24th, 1998, and to prepare and record such additional plans or plan amendments as may be desirable to effectuate the foregoing, showing the addition and/or deletion of portions of parcels and/or entire parcels when the mutually agreed upon conservation restriction agreement is finally determined.
A motion to approve has been made by Ward 1 City Councilor Wayne Losey. It's been seconded by Ward 7 City Councilor Jay Walsh. We'll open this up for discussion amongst the council. Any discussion, Councilor Walsh?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to speak for 1 second. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. There's been a lot of people who have done a lot of work on this. I, like Councilor Lozzi here, has had an opportunity as my former role as the conservation chair to help kind of move this along. And I can't help to think that when we become elected officials here, that there's certain points in our life where we're going to be able to make history in the city. And I look at the names that were up there tonight from years past, and we have an opportunity here as a council to put our names in that. And I just want to say that I'm all for that.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Any other discussion from the council? If I just may say a few words as well, thank you very much to the councilors for the work on this, to the Essex County Greenbelt, DCR, to the mayor's office as well, and the folks in attendance today, as well as our friends in the law department who've been pouring over some pretty old deeds over the years. We appreciate all of it, the emails, the calls, the texts. We appreciate that as well. I've learned that you don't believe everything you see on social media, so beware of who's putting out information. But I'd just like to point out that we take a lot of votes in the city council. Councilor Calucci's taken more than anyone else in the history of the city of Lynn. And there are a few that you can point to as you leave the city council that have made the greatest impact, the ones that impact your family and future generations. And this is our moment to put our fingerprints on the future of the city of Lynn. And I couldn't pick a better group of supporters than the folks out here, as well as the city council, to take this vote with. And we'll be looking forward to remembering this for many, many years to come. So the motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Council Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Cahill?
Yes.
Yes. Council Capano?
Yes.
Yes. Council Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Council Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council LaPierre?
Enthusiastically, yes.
Yes. Council Net?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. 11 yes.
We'll take a brief recess so folks can skedaddle out of here unless you want to stay for the next public hearing. So we'll take a very brief 1-minute recess.